A floating pyramid just showed up on a distant planet, and now stars behind it are bending like rubber. NASA thought Ceres was weird with its glowing craters and giant triangle mountain, but this is something else. The pyramid doesn't touch the ground. It floats, pulses like a heartbeat, and casts shadows on thin air. Tune in, because now more pyramids are appearing in deep space, and no one knows how to stop them. A giant triangle-shaped mountain, 3 miles high, just sticking out of the ground like it's trying to cosplay as the Great Pyramid, but forgot to stop growing. And no, it's not some crumbled crater edge or a random rock pile. This thing is sharp, pointy, and way too symmetrical to ignore, but scans suggest it's not even touching the ground. NASA's team didn't expect anything fancy from Ceres. It's small, it's cold, and it looks like a grey potato from far away. But then dawn got up close, around 2,700 miles above the surface, and boom! A perfect triangle peak towering above everything else pokes out like it's waving at us. It's like the planet just decided to show off. But wait, that's not even the weirdest part. As the camera zoomed in, the team spotted something else. Bright spots. Shiny, reflective little splotches sitting inside a massive crater that's 55 miles wide. At least 8 of these spots sparkle like someone sprinkled glitter across the surface. They're using a high-tech tool called an infrared mapping spectrometer, which basically looks at how different stuff on the ground reflects light. Every mineral has its own fingerprint when it comes to light, so this gadget helps figure out what exactly is hiding on Ceres' skin. The readings so far don't match anything super familiar, which only adds to the growing pile of strange. As more data comes in, more oddities pop up, like craters within craters, some with peaks in the middle. That's not unusual for icy moons way out past Neptune, but here, it's like finding snowballs in your freezer that somehow have volcanoes inside. These central peaks are too frequent, almost as if Ceres has been through multiple rounds of impact drama and kept bouncing back with flair. One of NASA's top brains, Carol Raymond, basically admitted they didn't expect this much drama from a dwarf planet. According to her, central pits are way more common here than anywhere else nearby. And that tells them something's going on underneath. Stuff they can't see directly, but can guess at based on all these strange shapes and formations. It's like reading a diary written in scars and scratches. The Dawn mission has been circling Ceres since early March, and for now, it's staying put at that 2,700-mile altitude until the end of June. Then it'll dip down to just 900 miles in August to get an even closer peak. That second phase is when things are expected to get even weirder. The closer they get, the more this potato-shaped planet starts acting like it's hiding something. Even stranger, Ceres doesn't rotate like a boring, lazy rock. It has a rhythm, a beat. Those bright spots, they change with the spin, flickering like a disco ball with each turn. Some scientists think this could be caused by changing angles of sunlight, but others aren't convinced. The reflectivity shifts too much. It's like there's something beneath, pushing up every now and then. The shape of the pyramid has sparked even more chatter. It's not perfectly equilateral, but it's close enough to turn heads. Its slope is consistent. Its corners are sharp. It doesn't look like a collapsed dome or a stretched ridge. It looks intentional, like it was built. Not necessarily by hands. Nature can do wild things, but by processes we don't fully get yet. Add to that the odd elevations near the base, small mounds that seem to fan out in a pattern, kind of like foundations, kind of like support. The symmetry is unnerving, and it's not just about looks. These features affect temperature, erosion, and maybe even how light bounces off the planet's surface. The more the Dawn team maps, the more anomalies appear. Some craters look younger than expected. Others are misshapen. Some rims are jagged, others are too smooth. The age map of Ceres is starting to look like a patchwork quilt stitched together by different hands. This isn't a dead rock. It's a place with a past. Possibly a past full of impact storms, icy eruptions, and maybe, just maybe, some long-lost geological engine humming away in the deep. And then there's the orbit. Ceres follows a strange path. It's not a perfect circle, and it wobbles ever so slightly. Some experts think gravitational tugs from Jupiter might be stirring things up. Others wonder if something inside Ceres is throwing it off balance, something dense, something unaccounted for. The math isn't lining up neatly, which again is thrilling. This little object is refusing to fit the mold. It's playing its own game, making the scientists chase after answers with every new set of photos. Even the way light reflects off the surface tells a story. There's a harshness to it, not soft, not powdery, like the top layer has been baked and cracked 100 times over. The texture is inconsistent, rocky here, crumbly there. Some parts almost look polished, and inside some of the craters, strange shadows dance. At certain times of day, they create illusions. Spires, bridges, shapes that shouldn't exist. The light plays tricks, but sometimes the tricks reveal something deeper, a peek behind the curtain. Ceres doesn't give away its secrets easily, but it drops hints. A triangle here, a flash there, a curve that bends wrong, a slope that dips just slightly too far. Maybe it's just a weird little planet doing weird little planet things, or maybe it's more. Maybe it's a survivor of something ancient, a fragment from a time when the solar system was a lot messier and a lot more chaotic. Whatever it is, it's not done surprising us. And NASA's Dawn team knows that. Every orbit brings them closer to the heart of the mystery. Every new scan adds a piece to the puzzle. But just when scientists thought Ceres was the only place acting strange, the cosmos threw another curveball. Just when Ceres got weird, something even weirder showed up far away. Forget Mars. The real cosmic mess is happening on an exoplanet way out there, somewhere you probably can't even spell without tripping on the letters. Picture this. A giant floating pyramid just pops up like it's late to a sci-fi movie. No wires, no landing gear, just hovering like it owns the place. And this isn't some Instagram filter or a glitch in a telescope app. Real scientists, yes, the kind who usually argue about dust particles for a living, are scratching their heads, blinking hard and wondering if the universe is trolling them. NASA's fancy instruments picked up this shape near a planet that orbits a star not too far from us in cosmic terms, but still, don't try driving there. It's called an exoplanet, which basically means it's doing its own thing outside our solar family. And just when they thought they were going to map some rocky surfaces and sip on lab coffee while checking off boxes, a clean-cut, suspiciously geometric shape appears. Think of a massive pyramid, not a hill, not a weird mountain, a triangle with attitude. Of course, the first reaction was the usual list of space weirdness excuses. Shadow play, reflections, maybe some ice, but none of them fit. This thing wasn't shimmering or melting or giving off the vibe of something natural. It looked built, as in someone or something put it there. Which is not exactly what scientists want to write on their weekly report. Zoom in and it gets even weirder. This pyramid seems to be floating above the surface, not sitting nicely, floating, like the rules of gravity on that exoplanet took the day off. Scientists threw every lens, filter and data set they had at it. Still, nothing made it vanish. That triangle shape kept popping up, steady and smug. And now, the real chaos begins. This thing isn't just a flat image. Multiple angles showed the same structure from different sides. It even casts a shadow on air. That's not a metaphor. The pyramid's presence messes with the atmosphere below it, which means it's physically there, just not obeying any laws of nature we've agreed on. One researcher said it felt like reality was glitching. And you can bet that comment didn't go on the official press release. The surface beneath it isn't helping either. Radar scans show no crater, no base, no anchor point. It's just hanging out there, bold and unapologetic. Scientists scanned for heat, radio signals, any sign of life or energy, nothing. Total silence, which makes it even louder in a way. But the pyramid isn't even the only weird thing happening on that exoplanet. The weather is a mess. The clouds move in strange loops, the wind patterns twist into spirals, and parts of the surface seem to glow without a heat source. It's like the whole place is trying to put on a magic show, and the pyramid is the main act. That idea has some folks losing sleep. If this pyramid is from a dead alien race, how did it survive? What's it doing floating there? And why now? Why show up when we finally have tools good enough to see it? Suspicious timing, don't you think? But wait, there's more. Instruments picked up tiny pulses of light from inside the pyramid, regular like a heartbeat. They're faint, barely registering, but they're there. Scientists triple-checked to make sure it wasn't equipment failure. It wasn't. The pulses kept coming, perfectly spaced. Tick, 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 like it's waiting to do something. In the latest scans, another shape appeared nearby. Smaller, not quite as defined, but definitely not natural. And just like that, the floating triangle is now the leader of what could be a weird little fleet. Whether they're monuments, machines, or something in between, no one knows. But the mood has definitely shifted from "that's odd" to "we're not ready for this." Even the conspiracy theorists are struggling to keep up. This isn't your usual blurry UFO pic or swamp gas explanation. This is geometry, cold, calculated, and floating above a planet that doesn't even have a name catchy enough for tabloids. It gets even wilder when you think about where the pyramid is floating. This part of space wasn't supposed to have anything exciting. It was mapped years ago and labeled quiet. But now, that label is a joke. Scientists are digging through old data, trying to see if they missed something. Maybe the pyramid was always there, hiding in plain sight. Or maybe it moved. That idea, that it moved, sends chills down the spine. Because if it can move, it can leave. Or worse, it can come closer. And given how this thing likes to show up without warning, who's to say it doesn't have friends somewhere else? There's talk now about whether we're being watched. Not in a paranoid, tinfoil hat way, in a measured, uncomfortable, maybe we were never alone kind of way. And the pyramid? It's not giving up answers. It's just existing, floating, pulsing, casting shadows where shadows shouldn't be. This exoplanet just became the universe's new reality show. Everyone's tuning in. Not because we understand what's going on, but because we really, really don't. And that's the scariest part of all. What nobody expected was the pyramid's influence stretching far beyond the exoplanet. Space telescopes watching nearby systems started reporting interference. Static in the data, small hiccups in light curves, almost like the pyramid was messing with the instruments or maybe sending signals. Whatever it was, it didn't look like random noise. It had a rhythm, like Morse code for the cosmos. One observatory reported that stars behind the pyramid dimmed more than they should have, like something was bending light just a bit more than gravity allows. That raised eyebrows. Because if that's true, this pyramid isn't just floating. It might be doing things we don't even have names for. Gravity tricks? Light distortion? That's deep end of the pool science, and most folks are still stuck with water wings. Some fringe groups started saying it's a dimensional anchor, like a marker holding space together. Wild theory? Sure. But when nothing else makes sense, even the wildest ideas start looking possible. Others say it might be a grave marker, not for a body, but for a civilization. A tombstone big enough to be seen across light years. If that's true, the pyramid might not be waiting for anything. It might be warning us to back off. And yet, the shape hasn't changed. Not a single mark, scratch, or shift in angle. It's just there, unbothered, like time doesn't touch it. People watching it day after day start to feel like it's watching back. Long stares, empty gazes, unnerving silence, the kind that makes your stomach tighten for no reason. While we stared at one pyramid, more started showing up out in space. The planet underneath continues to mess with expectations. New surface scans show patches that rearrange themselves every few weeks. Patterns appear, disappear, come back slightly different. They're not natural formations. They look like codes, but not the kind humans can crack easily. It's like the planet and the pyramid are working together, both part of a system we barely understand. Astronomers tried to bounce signals off the pyramid, no reply. But the moment they did, that faint heartbeat signal shifted, just slightly. Enough to get noticed, enough to confirm one thing: it knows we're trying to talk to it. And if it knows that, then maybe it's choosing not to talk. That silence, it's deliberate, measured, the kind that doesn't come from nothing, the kind that comes from knowing too much. Still want to visit that exoplanet? Pack a lunch and bring a mirror. You'll want to make sure your reflection follows you back. If it doesn't, well, maybe the pyramid has more to say than we thought. People have always looked up at the night sky, wondering if someone out there is doing the same. But maybe, just maybe, the real twist is that someone out there has been watching us all along. The theories started flooding in. Was it ice? No. A weird mountain formation? Doesn't line up. An optical illusion caused by the planet's atmosphere? That didn't check out either. Scientists, the ones who usually have a neat answer ready, didn't have one this time. Just silence, followed by uncomfortable stares at computer screens. The shape alone is enough to grab attention. But what really spooked everyone? It wasn't there before. Go back a few months in the telescope data, no pyramid, just another dull planet with some clouds. Then suddenly, there it is, floating, centered, acting like it belongs there. That kind of timing doesn't feel random. The folks at NASA didn't take this lightly. They ran every test, cleaned every lens, cross-checked with other observatories. The pyramids stayed put, day after day, floating without explanation. Some of them whispered about sending a probe, others wanted to keep it quiet. No leaks, no headlines, just hushed updates between scientists who usually laugh off alien talk. There's a theory that pyramids show up across cultures for a reason. Maybe they weren't just about burying kings or praising gods. Maybe they were copies, imitations of something older, something seen, something remembered. And now, this shape in space just stirred up that whole pot. Maybe they got curious. Maybe they sent back something that doesn't speak, but still says a lot. A pyramid quietly floating on a planet we barely noticed before. Not a shout, not even a whisper, just a shape, sitting there, daring us to make sense of it. And it's not alone. That's the part people missed in the early panic. A few weeks after the discovery, another one showed up. Different planet, same floating pyramid, then another. Different sizes this time, different angles, but still floating, still impossible. That's when people stopped calling it a glitch. This idea that something is placing objects in our line of sight on purpose gets under people's skin. It's the kind of thing that makes researchers pull all-nighters and makes regular people stare out their windows at night. And the fact that it's happening just as Earth's getting louder, brighter, more chaotic. That timing feels less like a coincidence and more like a reply. Every scientist with a telescope started pointing it toward these planets. Every data analyst began combing through the numbers. A few even found strange dips in light from nearby stars, signals they had ignored before. Maybe those weren't just dust clouds or technical hiccups. Maybe they were more floating shapes, more signs, and through all this, the pyramids just stayed there, floating, silent, untouched by wind, gravity, or time, not breaking down, not moving, not explaining themselves, like a puzzle dropped on your desk by someone who already knows you can't solve it. At some point, people stopped asking what they were and started asking who they were for. Are they meant for us? Or did we just stumble across someone else's leftovers? Are we late to the party? Or is this the invitation? Some folks believe we've been watching for a long time, that the sudden appearance of these objects is just the next step in a very slow reveal. Others think this is a test, a way to see how we react. If we panic, if we get aggressive, if we start fighting each other over what it means. So here's the question nobody wants to answer. What if they're not just watching, but waiting? Leave your opinion in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more.